Let's Talk Darkness Part 2. If you did not see Part 1, please go to my channel and just look for the video that I uploaded before this one, which gave a kind of a default way to beat level 5s. I'm not going to say it's going to work every time. It depends a lot on your stats, which are determined by your research, your gear, and so on. And in that video, I did recommend that with a 2 type level 5 Dark Nest, not a 3, 2, we're not being too ambitious just yet, that you match the troop type and counter it, what is in the Dark Nest. And if you don't know what I mean by match and counter, please look at the previous video. And what we did was that we tried to keep the main attacking type, the counter, at the back. It's also the match. This gets complicated, but you know, if you see the previous video, then it all becomes clear. Now, in this particular video, I'm doing a level 6. But before I do talk you through that, let's just talk about the match and counter strategy that I outlined in my last video. It's a good default way of doing nests. It is not necessarily always going to work. And a friend of mine actually showed me in my guild that my match and counter had not, and my formation had not actually helped me. But unfortunately, I killed the nests. I couldn't do it again. So, no, I'm happy. I was like, this guy wants to tell me how to do nests. Match and counter, use the formations. It's kind of formulaic. It's not always going to work. But I find that it works for me, since I had 400% attack on the main attacking troop type. And I'm now a lot higher than that. So, it does. Yeah, there are times when you don't want to send sprinkles. And what do I mean by sprinkles? I mean that when you choose a formation... Oh, let me get my sound off here. This is horrible. There we go. When you choose a formation, let's take cav wedges, what you would default use for a nest that you're going to send range to. So you're talking level 5s or 6s. 6s are always mixed. Let's take level 5s. It's a 2-type nest. It's got ranged and cavalry. So you're matching the ranged, you're countering the cavalry, you're putting your ranged at the back, and you're sending 16 of each infantry and cav. Yeah, that's right, infantry and cav, 16 of each. Why 16? Because each of these divisions, you can see there's 4 cavalry divisions, 4 infantry divisions, and each of them can be filled with only 4 troops, and that holds your formation, keeping your ranged at the back. So now you're attacking with ranged, and you're distracting the nest with these sprinkles. Okay, fine. That's the basics. You'll see more in the previous video. So now we went to a level 6 nest. Let's take a little look at that. Like I say, like this strategy it's kind of default. Yes, it might work for you, and it depends on the nests. I find that I beat nests like this. End of story. I'm going to click help. Oh my gosh, I'm so conditioned. Let's go to my favorites. Let's take a look at this. This guy is so beautiful. I mean, he's got a lovely account. He's got nice gear. He's not a titan, but he's strong, and he's mean. And 9 times out of 10, he beats up a level 6 Dark Nest. And he's decided it's time I learn level 6 Dark Nest. So under his tutoring, I have actually done 2 level 6 Dark Nests and won them both. But anyway, let's just take a little look. And you know, I'm inclined to say that a Dark Nest that is ranged cavalry is easier to fool than any other combination. This is, well, obviously it's a level 6, so let's take a look. I mean, it is going to be mixed. Yeah, what did he send? He sent 1,000 of each infantry and cavalry, and the main attack troop was indeed the ranged, and the sprinkles that he sent were all tier 2. Weird but true. And then, of course, everybody just sent what they had, and we all kind of tier 4, and but he won really convincingly against this particular nest. So let's look what this nest had. It had a large majority of cavalry, and that is why he targeted it for ranged. It didn't have a lot of ranged for the match. The counter looked a little bit worrying, but by no means anywhere near. The counter being the infantry, of course. Nowhere by any means near what it had in cavalry, which ranged will counter. I hope you're getting this. Okay. You know what? Watch my previous video. Just click my channel and look at the previous video. Okay, fine. So this nest had majority cavalry. Made sense to send ranged. He did send ranged. He sent a sprinkling of 1,000 of each in his main here. 600, 400 of them got wounded, so that's 1,000 of gladiators and reptilian riders tier 2. And he won, really convincingly. Good heavens. And then he says to me, do you want to do a level 6? And I'm like, yeah, okay, I've done that before. I don't trust me. And clearly I don't trust me because I didn't open a spot in my lab. But anyway, I went. Didn't win quite as convincingly as his. Oh, it was a little bit close, but not terribly close. And what did this have? Let's take a look. This nest, okay, I sent to it 1,000 of each, which all died. Tier 2 infantry and cavalry. They were just to hold the formation. Remember, we looked at the formation. I'm putting my ranged at the back. The infantry and the cavalry are at the front, and I sent 1,000 of each of those. Fair enough. Okay. The nest had a huge majority of cavalry. So at this point, you know, okay, look, if anything's going to counter this nest, it's probably going to be ranged. But now you have to get past the ranged and the infantry, neither of which is as many. And I'm actually quite thrilled here because I actually beat up all of those tier 5 ranged with my ranged attack. Ranged on ranged, a match is not as bad as a counter, but it's still not great. And I actually did that. Wow. Yes, beast. Okay, look, I'm new to this. I'm like really pleased with it. And I did use the cavalry wedge formation, which I showed you before, this being a ranged nest, ranged to counter cavalry. But the nest has got both of the other, which is a pain. And really, I would even say with level 5 nests, mixed is hard because you don't know what the formation is going to be. But in this instance, we do know that this nest is overwhelmingly cavalry. So ranged is the thing that might just beat it. Now, I put my ranged at the back of my formation. I put 1,000 of each sacrificial tier 2 troops in the front. I know they're not going to win the rally for me. They're going to distract the nest. Well, hopefully my ranged wins the rally for me. And this worked. I will tell you that I'm really new to level 6s, but I beat it. Too bad I didn't trust myself because I did not get the essence. So, and again, I was using a similar principle to the one I showed you in my level 5 Dark Nest, where we are saying match the top troop, counter the other troop, which might hopefully have more. So hard to explain, isn't it? Let's just look at that down thing again. Let's look here, it's easy. I mean, this thing had a ton of cav, so it's in ranged. It's also got a fair amount of ranged. Okay, and it's got a fair amount of infantry, which might counter me. What formation did it choose? Interesting to see. You don't know this till yet. It had a ranged phalanx. Let's look at a ranged phalanx right there. I love ranged phalanx for defense, by the way. But that's because of me. It's a ranged phalanx. So he actually did have his cav at the back. But my 1,000 kind of held him off. While ranged are wonderful. I mean, they they don't necessarily attack the frontmost troops first. Like, this all confuses me, to be honest, but they don't obey the rules that other troops do. Like, range to me is always the easiest kind of nest. I'm actually kind of curious to watch the playback here, and like, this is new to me. I have not actually watched the playback. I just kept that. Let's make a view battle. Dun, 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 dun. What's gonna happen? My phone's gonna hang. Okay, right. Here's this thing with a Blackwing. There go my little thousand. Oh dear. But we got the wall down. My ranged are still at the back. Here comes the cavalry. It's running through. I did kill a lot of ranged in this. Here come the cav. Oh, that's wonderful. I want to kill the cav with my counter, which is the ranged. He got me, but I've got my familiars. And there I go. I'm beating up his cav with my ranged. Isn't that beautiful? Lovely. I'm appreciating that. The cavalry ran out. This was a very classic nest. My formation countered his very, very nicely. And, you know, there we go. I'm going to win this. There's just no way I'm not going to. And why did the cav run out? It ran out to attack my sprinkling of infantry and ranged. And fortunately, the formation was favourable in that, you know, this happened, which it doesn't always. Like I say, I couldn't attack that nest twice. The level 5 that I won, I might have won with less casualties. I did beat it, but it just goes to show, you know, this method does work. Match and counter, use a formation that puts your main attack type at the back. And then if you see that you're having trouble, you know, try going maybe with a pure cav or pure inf rally or pure ranged rally, whatever the case may be, because the sprinks aren't really helping you. In this instance, they did. Totally thrilled. I hope this helps you. It's kind of default. You don't know formation until you hit. So to me, you know, use this method, and the chances are pretty good that you will beat the nest. And you know, if you don't, then it's up to you to decide whether you want to make any adjustments. Oh, hey, there we go. No. Bye.